Hi, my name is Shayne Jabaut, and I'm here to talk to you about Tower of Myrefall. Tower of Myrefall will be a dungeon crawler RPG with additional focus on base building, hero recruitment, and town upgrades. Players will experience a reactive world economy. This means that the more they spend and trade with shops, the better stock the shop will offer for sale. Players will also acquire a base early in the game known as a guild hall. As they play through the game, they can invest money and materials into the base to improve it and reap greater benefits from it. The player will also be able to build a custom team of adventurers, starting with a few basic choices and unlocking additional characters through gameplay. The turn-based action will feel nostalgic to older players and will prevent newer players from becoming overwhelmed by heavy action during combat. Level-based enemies and loot means that the difficulty will steadily progress as the adventure presses onward. This means that players will never become bored or become too challenged, as they can either move up the tower or down the tower to sit where they feel comfortable for the time being. Procedurally generated levels means that the tower is going to be different every time you play and every time the player enters the tower. This means that players can replay the game over and over, and every time they play, it's going to be slightly different. A varied character cast means that there is an even greater replay value, as each will acquire different skills and abilities as the game progresses. Content being unlocked by player choices also means that there is more reasons to replay the game and make different choices every time you play. Each unique character will host unique talents, abilities, and personalities, meaning that you must play through multiple times to experience them all to their max potential. The retro style art will be reminiscent of old school RPGs, tapping into the fond memories of our target audience of classic RPG lovers. Some risks involved in the creation of a game of this scale would be content creation. Games of this nature require a lot of content: items, characters, enemies, loot, and level design materials. There's also the factor of character depth. A large cast like this means that there's a major time sink required to flesh out each and every character and really make them feel unique. Procedural generation scripting can also be extremely advanced, and this script will need to handle a lot of input very successfully for this design to work. Level adjusted enemies means potential balance issues, especially when you move further into the end game, and also means that there's going to be a lot of testing to really make sure each level is working as it should. And then, of course, the main concern with a team of this size and a deadline project would be time constraints. Some ways that this project would mitigate these risks: procedural generation limits content creation. This means that level layouts will be entirely designed by the game itself, as we designers will only need to adjust and design the content to be used for creation. A pre-designed, a predestined upgrade system means that things like the town, the guild, and the shops will always follow a certain pattern when upgrading. The pattern that they upgrade to isn't going to change every time you play, so investing A amount of money into B shop will get you to level C shop. Text-based speech means that it will be very easy to give each character a specific speech pattern without requiring tons of voice acting. And character templates will ensure that all characters have the same basic requirements met, and small details can be adjusted to make each one feel unique. Tweaking a setting here or there, and some of the stats and some of the personality factors will make it seem like a completely new character. Adjusting item and enemy stats via a formula will save on content creation and allow previous content to be reused and recycled. A monster used on level 1 can be reused on level 10, on level 15, on level 20 by multiplying its stats and its skills by the level of the floor that it's on. The 2D art style simplifies content creation. This means that it doesn't require a lot of fancy visuals, and as one of the oldest styles of game art, there's a plethora of examples available for reference. The tower in the lower left hand of this presentation was created in about 20 minutes. It would require very little effort and time to actually complete and polish to a usable piece. And of course, with an organized plan of attack and decent drive, I think a four-man team could pull this off. It would just require a strong focus on perfecting the procedural generation script and then moving on to the content creation. That's my presentation, and thank you for listening.